Record, Your Honor, this is Taniya Rivera. Please serve counsel.
Okay, I see putting headphones on if you want to use that connection.
Yes, one moment.
Sí la puedo escuchar.
He can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you Trinidad Labor Kuwait?
Guagua. Sí.
Yes, Guwawa, yes.
Okay. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for one count of burglary of a conveyance with an assault or battery, and one count of resisting an officer without violence. As to count one, I would, and I'm sorry, can you put your name on the record? You're a lawyer.
Yes, Kinsey Johnston for the Public Defender's Office.
Ms. Johnson, and Mr. Lau is here for the state. I'd set bond as to count one in the amount of $7,500. Count two, $100. Order no contact with the victim alleged, and we would appoint the office of the public defender to represent the defendant. Okay, and I believe, does he have any questions, Madam Interpreter?
No, sí me acuerdo. Sí me acuerdo. Sí. De lo que me están diciendo es lo que delito.
Yes, I do remember of what I'm being told about the charges.
Okay. And if he doesn't have any questions, we're finished.
Está bien, gracias.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Jonathan Concepcion Garcia.
Does he need an interpreter? Jonathan Concepcion Garcia?
Yeah, they're wiping off the headphones now. And it looks like he has the headphones on if you want to see if he can hear you.
Yes, he can, Your Honor.
Okay. And good morning. Are you Mr. Concepcion Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for trespass on property after a warning. What have they been doing with these as to bonds typically?
For the defense would ask for ROR in this case, or I believe it's a pleable. I don't know if a state has an offer.
I mean,
Your Honor, the offer in this case would be a withhold of adjudication, a $150 fine, and court costs.
I mean, are we typically taking pleas under, when I can't?
I mean, we can. We don't have to. If not, then we would just ask for ROR.
I mean, is this the category where the state typically is agreeing to ROR? Or,
It depends on the state.
It's a case-by-case basis, Your Honor.
okay, any thoughts on this
It-
one?
The state has no objection to RR.
Because this is, okay, where's this? Walmart. All right, so Madam Interpreter, we can release Mr. Concepcion Garcia on his own recognizance, but he has to stay away from the Walmart, the neighborhood Walmart on Landstar Boulevard. If he violates that, then he can expect to spend some time in jail. But we'll appoint the office of the public defender and release him on his own recognizance.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you very much, sir. And we have Jose Diaz. And he does have headphones on if you want to make contact.
Sí.
He can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Diaz?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for petty theft. And we can set his bond in the amount of $250. Order that he have no return to the neighborhood Walmart at 4520 South Cimarron Boulevard. And will appoint the office of the public defender to represent him.
Your Honor, if we could ask for an ROR in this one as well.
State's position?
I would object to that. The defendant in this case has out-of-state history. His assault and battery of domestic nature, 2 warrants. Also, we are not able to verify his community ties, so there's concern that he would not
All right,
stay.
I understand. So we're going to keep his bond set at $250 and a no return to Walmart. Okay, thank you, Mr. Diaz.
Okay, otra cosa. Yo me encontraron algún problema en el récord mío o no. ¿Tengo que pagar alguna cosa o tengo?
Another thing, you found something on my record or not? Do I have to pay something additional?
No, he has a bond, bail in the amount of $250.
Okay.
That would get him out of jail. The state attorney, Mr. Lau, was just telling me that he has some out-of-state criminal history.
Okay. So, puedo pagar entonces los 250 y me voy a mi casa.
So I can pay the 250 and go home.
Yes, sir. And stay away from Walmart while this is pending, okay?
Okay. Okay. Gracias.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck, sir. Do we have Antonio Rivera Soto? And I don't think he needs, do you speak English, sir?
Judge, those are move-ups. Can we just verify if there's any victims out there that might need a Spanish interpreter? But the 3 cases should have been it for the Spanish
It should have been that.
Does he need an interpreter?
He said he speaks.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. And are you Mr. Antonio Rivera Soto?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Soto. Mr. Soto was picked up on a warrant. Probable cause was found for human trafficking and 1 count of solicitation to commit sexual activity with a child. I believe that's a PBL. I'm not inclined to give him a bond as to count 1 and a $7,500 bond as to count 2. Did anyone want to be heard on that?
I have no objection to
Okay.
that.
I think it's probably best if you want to talk to set that for an Arthur hearing or something, but we're going to hold a no bond as to count 1, $7,500 as to count 2, and we'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent Mr. Rivera Soto. Okay, Mr. Rivera Soto, we've appointed the public defender to represent you, but right now you do not have a bond, okay? Thank you.
Have a good day.
And Madam Interpreter, are you able to see if anybody out in the lobby needs an interpreter?
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I have no access to the lobby.
No.
No? I'm being indicated no. So I think that's it for Spanish. Thank you very much for your help.
You're very welcome, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
And are you Jonathan Tolar?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, Mr. Tolar.
Good morning.
Let me see what we have here. This is 20 mm 4862. I do find probable cause for 1 count of battery. I would set your bond in the amount of $500, order you have no return to the front row bar and no contact with the victim alleged here. We can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you Kody Payne?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, Mr. Payne.
Good morning.
We do find probable cause for burglary. This is case number 20 CF 7981. I do find probable cause for burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery. And bond is to be determined here today. Did the state have a request as to bond?
Just a second, Your Honor. Just trying to find the booking report. You said the defendant's last name is Payne?
P-A-Y-N-E.
Payne.
You want to sign it? Or?
Sign it for now.
I have no input, Your Honor.
And anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Payne, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $5,000. Order you have no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the location where this is alleged to have occurred, and will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
All right, sir. Thank you much.
All right, thank you. And I think we have Stephen Matuszak?
Stephen Matuszak.
Matuszak, good morning, afternoon, Mr. Matuszak. I do find probable cause in 20 CF 8097 for driving with a suspended or revoked license, third subsequent violation, refusing a urine or breath test. Would set your bond in the amount of $2,500.
In Your
Or you
Honor.
do qualify for PTR. We could also allow you to do PTR or post a bond. We'll leave that up to you, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any conditions for him, Your Honor?
He's not to drive a vehicle without a valid license would be the condition of PTR and all other standard conditions, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
And we are, is this Larry Delaire?
Duran Paz.
I'm sorry?
Yoyanis Duran Paz.
I'm sorry, what's this guy's name?
Duran.
Is this not Mr. Delaire?
Clarier? Yes. This is Lori Duclairier.
No, Duran Paz.
Oh, no, this not, no. It's not the right person. Duclairier, they got Duran. That's not right.
Is this Mr. Delaire right there? No? Good afternoon. Are you Larry Delaire?
Yes.
Okay. So I think he has two cases. The new case, 20 CT 845. We do find probable cause for driving with a suspended license. We can set a bond in the amount of $500 and appoint the office of the public defender. He's out on bond in 20 CT 3645 on a DUI. I would be inclined to revoke the bond as state.
Yes, Your Honor, state would be requesting that you revoke the bond in that case.
Any traffic offense, I typically would. So I'm going to revoke bond on the case you're out on. We will appoint the office of the public defender to represent Mr. Delaire, and they can seek a bond on his DUI case, okay? All right, thank you, sir. We're looking for Mr. Taylor. Is it Ram Zaire Taylor?
Yes. How you doing?
This is Mr. Taylor. Okay, Mr. Taylor, 20 mm 4861. I do find probable cause for one count of an open container violation, one count of disorderly intoxication. And state, I was looking at an ROR here, but I don't know if you had any information you wanted me to consider. And no return to 7-Eleven.
Your Honor, he does have a prior conviction of disorderly contact from May 14th of this year, as well as 2 prior open container convictions as well.
Okay.
I would request that you not release him ROR.
Your Honor, is this, what is his first name?
Ram Zaire.
Zaire. Defense would ask for an ROR. The charges the state just mentioned are very minor, as well as the charges he's being held on right now, and it's
Yeah, I
It's
think
a
that's
health
fine.
crisis
So,
right now.
Mr. Taylor, I'm going to ROR you, release you on your own recognizance. Don't go back to the 7-Eleven where this happened, no return.
Yes,
We don't
sir.
need to see you back here, okay?
Yes, sir.
But you got to be careful, because if you come back again, I'm not so sure they're going to release you without having to post a bond, okay?
Yes, sir, I understand.
All right, good luck, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Benson Charon Fat.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I think someone might be here to,
Yes, yes, you should be. There's a big misunderstanding. I shouldn't.
okay, hold on.
Sorry, Your Honor, what was the name?
You can peel that down just while you're talking to me, that's fine.
Okay.
And can you raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you tell me your name, please?
Janine Eugenie McIntyre,
And what is your relationship to Mr. Charon? Is it Charon Fant?
Sharon Font,
Charon Font. What's your relationship?
girlfriend.
Okay, girlfriend. And this did involve you. I did review the police report. And I would find probable cause for domestic violence battery. Is there anything you wanted to talk to me about today?
Repeat that one more time. Your last sentence.
Yeah, I would find probable cause for domestic violence battery. And is there anything you wanted to tell me?
I don't feel in danger for fear for my life or anything.
Okay.
I packed up my belongings. I moved out yesterday.
If he is released, do you want me to order no contact with you at all?
No,
Okay.
no,
All right, and you said you're not fearful for your safety?
not at all, sir. He actually called them on me, and I don't know what happened. So, no, I don't feel in danger.
See, I think what complicates things a little bit, he's out on he's on probation, a felony probation, and that might be the issue if we find probable cause for domestic violence battery. And
Can I say something?
so, Ms. McIntyre,
Yes, sir.
it relates to a bruise that was on your elbow,
It was a bruise on my arm.
and he caused that, is what I'm reading in the police report.
Yes, so prior to a couple days, we got into a tussle, and we both, I pulled his hair, he grabbed my arms like this, so I'm fairly light, so I definitely bruised fairly easy, but I didn't call the police when it happened. I didn't feel endangered. When they arrested him, when they came,
Right, he
They were
had
more
called the
looking for
cops,
stuff.
he called the cops on you.
for breaking my own belongings and went to jail.
All right. And is he on probation out of Orange County?
Yes. Your Honor, is it okay if I say something?
Well, probably not, but you need to understand, you have the right to remain silent.
Okay.
Discussing the facts and circumstances here could hurt you. I'm pretty sure counsel here probably would be uncomfortable if you started talking about what happened here. But here's what I'm going to do, I think. If you're not concerned, ma'am, I'm going to ROR him on the new charge. Order he have no hostile contact with Ms. McIntyre. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release as well. And we can also ROR on the violation of probation, okay?
Your Honor, I just want to bring to your attention that this defendant also has a resisting officer without violence charge.
Correct. He's got resisting without, and I'm going to ROR him on everything. I mean, the reason the police were called was because of Ms. McIntyre's conduct, and she talks about something that happened 3 days earlier. I'm not so sure we're going to solve this today, but if you're not scared, ma'am,
No.
I'm going to release him on his own recognizance.
Okay.
All right, you still got a VOP out there. If the state files on this, that might give you some trouble, but I'll give you a ROR on both counts, okay, on both cases. All right, we'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. No hostile contact with Ms. McIntyre, do not possess any weapons or firearms, which should be a condition of your probation anyways, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Honor. Have a good day. Good weekend.
You too. Amal Khan? Are you Mr. Khan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, there's someone here, Mr. Khan. And good morning. And can you raise your right hand? And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And this is for you. And I'm going to need you to get real close to that microphone because I can't hear you, okay?
Yes.
This is for her. Can you tell me your name?
Aimo. Oh, actually.
Not her. No, I'm talking to
Sorry.
someone else. Are you Shima?
Yes.
And what is your relationship with Amal?
He's my husband.
Married. Okay.
Yes.
And if he goes home today, are you worried for your own safety?
Yes.
Okay. Are you scared of him?
Yes.
Okay. So if he is released, are you requesting that he not go back home?
Because he said this all the time that he's gonna kill me or my sister or her kids.
And who lives there with you and him? Who else is in the house?
His family.
Okay, is it children?
And my sister is married to his brother, so
And does everybody live in the same house?
yes.
Okay. And I want to make sure I understand correctly. Are you fearful for your safety if he goes home?
Yes.
Okay. And does anyone else have any questions for Shima?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I would find probable cause in 20 MM 4866 for one count of domestic violence battery, one count of resisting an officer without violence. I believe he qualifies for PTR on both of his cases. He does?
And he also has another case.
Yeah, 20 CF 8085, I would find probable cause for aggravated assault, domestic violence. Okay? As to the misdemeanor case, he can do PTR if he wants. Otherwise, we can set bond in the amount of $1,500 as to count 1 and $100 as to count 2. He's not to have any contact with the young lady who's here testifying, Ms. Shima. And in the other case, we would set bond in the amount of $2,500 or PTR if he chooses that. The condition would be no contact with Ms. Shima. He's also not to return on both cases to the location, although he can go with law enforcement one time to pick up some personal belongings, okay?
Your Honor, for both cases, I'd also request that the defendant not have access to weapons or firearms.
And he's not to possess...
Can I say something, Your Honor, please?
Not to possess any weapons or firearms. You can talk to me. I would caution you against discussing the facts of this case because you're being recorded and anything you say can be used against you. But if you have any questions about what I've said...
I have, all I want to say is that my whole family, besides her sister, because her sister is actually, she been telling her all these things for like about 3 years, but my whole family can witness that I never laid my hands on her in the past 5 years. Since
I understand, and that we're not going to solve that today, unfortunately. I just find probable cause based on what's in a police report. This may or may not be true, what I've read, okay? But
Yes.
it is enough to find probable cause. It's also enough for me to order you have no contact with her until this is resolved. I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay? So you should contact them. They'll be able to help you and to talk to other witnesses. But other than that, this is about all I can do today, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you, ma'am. Good luck. All right, Gabriel Clements. Okay.
Your Honor, he's medical.
Gabriel is medical.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I think typically they have not been resetting the medicals. Is that right?
I haven't been in court.
Okay. Because of COVID, I was told last weekend that typically we're doing with the IA, but I also can reset it if you want.
I think I'd request it be reset.
Your Honor, I was also told that his victim is here today.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to listen to them or not for Clement.
Sure, we can. And can you raise your right hand?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And can I have your name?
Melanie Clements.
Ms. Clement, and what is your relationship to Gabriel?
I'm his mother.
Mom, and
Yes,
he
sir.
lives with you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he's not here today because of a medical reason,
Okay.
but you are here. So is there anything you want to tell me about this?
Yes, sir. He's a paranoid schizophrenic. Is there any way that we can get him into like a medical facility? I don't think jail is the right place for him. He doesn't take his meds.
Probably not today we're going to be able to do that.
That's fine.
And counsel for the public defender wants him present, so I'm going to reset this.
Okay.
Probably for Monday. I think it's something that probably should be done on a regular day. But one of the issues is he's out on bond on a battery on a law enforcement officer case.
Yes.
And that bond would likely be revoked.
That's fine.
Even though he's going to get a bond on the new case, he probably isn't going to stay here.
That's fine.
That would give people some time to look into some other placement options,
Okay.
okay? But why don't we have him come back on Monday?
Yeah, because he just got out of Aspire, actually. He was in there because I had him Baker acted.
Okay.
He was in there for a week.
If one of the issues is medication, you know, that's something the judge can help with.
Yes.
What we need to get him here is order him to take medication, and I don't know if he's a candidate for mental health court or something like that. I just don't know.
Okay.
But he is entitled to be here
Okay.
for these discussions. So what time do they convene on Monday?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. on Monday
Here?
here, and you're welcome to come back.
Absolutely.
It'll be Judge Carter or Judge Wish. I don't know who will be doing it, but one of those judges will be here.
I'll be here.
And then maybe something can be worked out. But in the meantime, he'll stay here, okay?
I hope so, yes. I hope everything works out. Thank you,
Anything
sir.
else? It's good to see you. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good luck, okay?
All right, have a good afternoon.
All right, is Tyrone Lawson, are you Mr. Lawson?
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm okay, Mr. Lawson. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
And someone is here to talk about you. And can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'm talking with this young lady over here. And your name, ma'am?
Lauren J. Blue.
And what is your relationship with Mr. Lawson?
He's my significant other.
Significant other?
Yes.
All right, well. He was picked up on a arrest warrant for aggravated assault with a firearm and domestic violence, and that must have related to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then they also, I believe, found cocaine on him on the arrest, so we would find probable cause for possession of cocaine. Ma'am, do you live with him?
I'm sorry, what's that, Your Honor?
Do you live together?
Yes, we do.
All right, and if he is able to bond out, are you in fear of him?
No, Your Honor. At first I was, but me and Mr. Lawson and I, we had a heart-to-heart talk. We talked about things. We were able to get an understanding with things. And I'm bipolar schizophrenic myself, and this man helps me out. I have no family to help me. Mr. Lawson helps me. I'm not in fear of him anymore. He's telling me he's not going to do anything to me. He needs to come home. I don't understand.
Well, there's something to understand is that he threatened you with a gun. Some judge determined that. I haven't read that police report. He was picked up on a
May I say
warrant.
something, sir? Okay, with that gun situation, me and Mr. Lawson were able to talk and get an understanding on that. Previously in the past, I've been so depressed and going through my own personal issue. I made a statement to Mr. Lawson that I wanted to kill myself. Mr. Lawson, he got the firearm so that I won't hurt myself. The day of the argument, I'm thinking it's towards me. He said it wasn't towards me. It was just so that I won't get the gun.
I'm not going to really get to the bottom of what happened. You're not. If he is able to bond out, you don't have any objection to him coming home, right?
No, he needs to come home and help me. No.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out. So, and he came in on no bond, and does the state have a request as to bond on the aggravated assault with a firearm?
Your Honor, I would request a bond of at least $2,500 on that charge.
And anything from defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So he is able to get a bond on the aggravated assault with a firearm. We'd set bond the amount of $2,500. Count two, $100. On the possession of cocaine, $1,000 bond. He's not to have any hostile contact with the alleged victim, but you're welcome to go home if you're able to bond out, Mr. Lawson.
Your Honor, how much is the bond? How come you can't just get R&R on the charge if I'm the victim?
Not with a gun. It ain't going to happen, okay? But he can talk to a bonding agency, and he would come up with 10% of the money, he'd be out for about $350.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? Since I'm the victim, can I just go across the street and bun him out today, right now?
Yes.
I can bun him out right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go bun him out, thank you.
Okay.
So can I go so I can do this?
For this case, I would also request no firearms or
Yeah.
weapons.
And Mr. Lawson, as a condition of your release, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, okay? So the gun was probably taken, I would imagine, by the cops, but until this is all sorted out, you're not to possess any weapons, okay?
Oh, yes, sir. And with another thing with the possession, I just bought a car. I bought an Audi 2 weeks ago. They went in a fuel box. I never went in a fuel box. That was a private owner. I didn't even know it was in there.
You need to talk to a lawyer about that. Today's not the day to
Okay, that's cool. But,
dig into that, okay, but.
Is it another way I can get the officer's badge? How do I get their badge number? 'Cause I was sexually assaulted.
Yeah, again, talk to your lawyer about that, and if someone's arrested for that,
No time would I be able to get those officers that put me, because they beat me down with a handcuff? So
you're welcome to talk to
they
anybody.
finger my behind.
Sir, that's not in front of me today, okay?
I was trying to see where I can get who I need to talk to get their badge number. I ain't worried
Talk to
about the
counsel.
case.
Talk to counsel about it. You're welcome to call
Oh man, you don't stick your
authorities
finger
on
on
that,
man
okay?
behind it. That's not in the drug.
Mr. Lawson, you're gonna talk yourself into no bond, okay?
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Good luck, all right? Ma'am, we're done. Okay, thank you.
This is stupid.
All right, Jose Mateo, are you Mr. Mateo?
Mr. Mateo, he is medical.
He's medical as well.
So he's in medical?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And ma'am, can you raise your right hand?
Sir.
Or, sir, I'm sorry, sir,
It's fine.
you got great hair, but
Thank you.
And okay, you swear affirm testimony you give today will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
And your name, please?
Daniel Barrios.
Yeah, Mr. Barrios, I'm sorry. Is there anything you wanted? He's not here. Jose
Yeah, I was
isn't
told.
here. He's
I was
in a
told that he
medical.
wasn't going to be here.
Is there anything you wanted to?
I wanted to say that I don't feel safe there anymore. I am currently on my way to Osceola County to live with my brother.
Well,
I don't know if I want the no contact. I'd like a more explicit explanation of that so I can understand it better.
Sure. And we'll probably reset this so he can be here in person. But when we order no contact, it's no contact in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly. No phone calls, no third parties. That's one option you can ask from the judge. Another option would be no hostile contact, where you're allowed to communicate and see each other, but he would not allow to be hostile to you in any way.
Okay.
So it's really no contact at all, or no hostile contact?
No hostile contact.
That's
Because
what- okay.
he is still married to my mother, and my mom, excuse me, my mom, she still wants me to call her, and when I call her, he's usually right next to her.
Okay. Well, we can readdress this on Monday morning at 9 a.m. because we need to get him here if we can. You're welcome to come back at that time, but we'll make a note that your request is no hostile contact if he's released. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And anything else you want to put on the record here today?
No, sir.
Okay,
Just
thank
for
you.
him to bond out, that's it.
Right, and he is entitled to a bond, and he'll see Judge Wish or Judge Carter on Monday, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Is it Sean Cosby?
Your Honor, he's medical.
Okay. So you wanting to reset all these? That's not at all what we did last weekend, but I'll defer to you guys if you want us to reset these. It's up to you. And we can reset for tomorrow if you want, but,
Could we reset for tomorrow and I can
okay.
think about what to
That
do
can be
about
reset
these?
tomorrow at 11 a.m.? Okay. Dale or Curry, I'm sorry, Curry O'Brien?
Yes, sir.
So this is Mr. O'Brien.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, and can you please raise your right hand? And do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes,
And
sir.
your name, please?
Hi, my name is Shonda O'Brien. I'm
Miss
his
O'Brien.
spouse.
And you're welcome to put your hand down.
Oh.
So, Miss O'Brien, this incident, did it involve you?
No, this all was a huge misunderstanding. So basically, my husband called 911 on a different situation, which involved my son. When they got there, they started asking questions on why he called 911. And the cops took everything we said on how we got to him calling 911. And the next thing I knew, the cops returned in my house and said they had put my husband in handcuffs and arrested him. And I said, well, how could you arrest him? He's the one that called 911 to have you come out for another situation. So I'm really kind of shook on why we're even here, sir. When it wasn't even involving me, it was really my husband and my youngest son. But the police took, like I said, statements on how we got to that point with him dialing 911, and they arrested my husband. And then they came back in the house while we were inside and say, oh, we just put him in the car. And I was like, how is that possible? He called you for help.
This is what the police officer wrote. The victim, which is you,
Right?
stated she felt threatened. However, the suspect, which is Mr. O'Brien, was quickly held back. So based on a statement that you felt threatened, I think it must have been
It
why
was
they...
an argument, sir. That's all it was. It was
Well,
an
let me ask you this. Are you fearful for your safety if he goes
I'm
home?
not, sir. I'm ex-military, so is my husband. And, no, I don't feel threatened. I don't feel hostile. I don't feel that he should be here. What I'm wanting you guys to understand, you, sir, is to understand that this was a big misunderstanding. It was an argument between family members.
Okay. And here's what we can do. Mr. O'Brien will be released on his own recognizance.
Okay.
So you're free to pick him up and go home. Mr. Bryan, be careful. Good luck, O'Brien. Good luck to you, though, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, ma'am.
All right,
Good luck
thank
to
you, sir,
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Conditions, Judge?
No.
No?
Well, no hostile contact with anyone in the house. Okay, how about that?
Your
All
Honor,
right.
I'd also request no firearms, no weapons.
It's I'm not. It's just a family thing. I'm not gonna put any other restrictions on him. James Oxendine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Your Honor, I just want to let you know that his victim was arrested, so he's also here. I don't know if you want to bring both of them in or one at a
Yeah,
time.
Jonathan. Okay. Well, we'll just deal with them one at a time, but Mr. Oxendine, well, his brother's right there next to him?
Yes,
Yeah. Can you get them both in here? That's fine. And James is a 20 mm 4863. Jonathan is 20 mm 4864. And are you Jonathan
Yes, I am.
Oxendine? Okay.
Yes.
And Mr. Jonathan Oxendine, do you and James live together?
Yes, we do.
Okay. James, let me start with you. Are you fearful? This is your brother next to you, is that right?
Correct.
And if y'all are you in fear of him?
No.
And Jonathan, how about you? Are you in fear of your brother?
No.
Okay. Who else lives there, James?
My mother, my two children, my wife, and my brother's spouse, partner. Oh, my mother-in-law, sorry, but she's there temporarily.
Okay.
Honor, defense would request ROR for both. In this case, from the arrest affidavit, it sounds like it was, if anything, something that happened between two brothers that didn't cause both of them to be held in jail.
That's possible. I mean, there were other family members who were sort of, I think, involved in the argument, but I don't know if I'm, State, do you feel strongly about this one way or the other?
I would request that James would not be released ROR, at the very least.
Your Honor, from the arrest affidavit, it doesn't sound like one is more guilty than the other or something. I don't know why the state would be requesting that. They both,
I mean, I think I probably would treat them the same, although one does qualify for PTR, that would be Jonathan, James doesn't, but
James can also qualify for PTR.
they both do? Okay. All right, so I do find probable cause for domestic violence battery. Both of them can participate in pretrial release, so you don't have to pay any money to get out. We will order you have no hostile contact with each other or anyone else in the household, and we can appoint the office of the public defender to represent them. Okay, so Mr. Oxendine, do either of you have any questions?
Well,
There's not going to be any more trouble, right, between you two?
no.
No? Okay, good. So you're going to have to do pretrial release. You'll be reporting probably by phone, but they'll instruct you on what you need to do, but it won't cost you money to get out of jail, okay?
Your Honor, state requests no weapons or firearms for both defendants and also no alcohol or bars for James Oxenden.
Okay.
Your Honor, defense would object to that, to those requirements.
I mean, when we're real close to ROR, I just don't know if we put a lot of other restrictions other than, I mean, I know this is, actually typically, I don't get this request, not that it's a wrong request, but for a domestic violence battery, and it didn't involve a weapon. I understand if it did involve a weapon, but,
Also, Your Honor, as to ROR, is it being denied? It shows that both of them don't have bond on the jail website, so I know you said they could do PTR.
yeah, no, I'm
but-
finding probable cause and we're allowing PTO. Look, if they would rather post a bond, I'd set each of their bonds the amount of $1,000, so they can choose PTR or post $1,000 bond. They're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm not going to restrict any alcohol consumption, though, okay? All right, guys, good luck to you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rodriguez, Mr. Rodriguez, Roque? Or Miss Rodriguez, Angel?
Hi.
Okay, thank you. And I think somebody is here. Can you raise your right hand, sir? And do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And you can put your hand down. Thank you. And your name, please?
Jose Luis Mejia.
Mr. Mejia?
Yes.
And you're on vacation?
Yes.
Welcome to Florida. Okay, and is this your wife?
Yes.
And so you had an argument. I would find probable cause for domestic violence battery. And you're from Pennsylvania?
Yes.
And how long are you going to be in Florida?
Actually, we was normally I travel for work because I'm a welder, and then I was supposed to be on a power plant in North Carolina to work, and then normally I was gonna be right here for a few days until Saturday, and then coming back home, and then drive back to North Carolina to start working like.
And if your wife is able to get out of jail today, are you in fear of her?
Oh, no. Yes, yes. Actually, we're going to a long point on a marriage, but this thing was something like more like prevent something that was going to happen. I never thought it was going to be this far because she's a great woman, and then.
What I would do here is allow Miss, is it Rodriguez Roque? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes.
Okay. We do find probable cause. I would release her on her own recognizance, though. She's to have no hostile contact with the witness here. And the state may or may not do anything with this, but you're welcome to pick her up and then order no hostile contact, and I wish you both well, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, ma'am. Okay. All right, Arthur Taylor. Are you Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so Mr. Taylor, I have reviewed the police report. I would find probable cause for one count of battery. I would set your bond the amount of $1,000. Order you have no contact with the victim here. Who I think you might be related to, but you're not to have any contact until further court order. We will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Your Honor, state also requests no weapons or firearms.
Okay, he's not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you live together, you can't go back there, although we would allow one time with police officer to get some personal belongings, okay?
Yeah, I completely understand, but this was completely hearsay. Like, no one really got my point of what was going on.
I understand, and today's not the day to talk about everything. This is a very minimal finding of probable cause. But under the circumstances, we are going to order no contact and no return.
All right, so may I ask a question? Due to the fact that if I don't or am not able to bond out, how much time am I looking at?
Well, $1,000 bond, if you used a bonding agency, would cost you $100. Are you able to come up with that amount?
I mean, if I'm not able to do that, how much time am I looking throughout, like, this charge? Like, for how much?
I really don't know, other than after 33 days, I think typically motions are filed if the state hasn't filed charges yet. Okay? Are you able to afford a $1,000 bond?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know.
And he doesn't qualify, no, doesn't qualify for CPR. Okay. Well, that would require someone helping you out with $100 in all likelihood. Do you think you can do that?
I don't know, sir. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not even supposed to be here.
Okay, well, then, we've appointed the Public Defender's Office. I wouldn't ROR you on this kind of a situation. So we'll set bond in the amount of $1,000, no contact, no return. And then you can speak with your attorney about some other options for you, okay?
All right, sure.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Darryl Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Thompson. I've reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for domestic violence, assault, and I think he was arrested on a battery. I thought it was maybe only an assault, not a battery, but I would find PC for assault, domestic violence, set bond the amount of $1,000, order no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the location. If he does live there, if Mr. Thompson lives there, he can return one time with law enforcement to get some personal effects.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
You say I was charged with what?
You were arrested for domestic violence battery, which is actually touching somebody. I found probable cause for domestic violence assault, which is a threat rather than a touch.
No, sir. My son.
Don't talk to me. You don't need to talk about what happened, okay?
It's my son, and
Right.
he's 19 years old, and we wasn't fighting. We was just arguing over some money.
I understand.
And that's why
Sir,
I live.
today's not the day to talk about it.
But I take
found
care-
probable cause based on what's in the police report, and that's all we're gonna do today, okay? Today's not the day. You need to talk to a lawyer before you start talking about the case, because you could hurt yourself, all right?
But
I've set your
can I
bond the
go back
amount
to
of
the house?
$1,000. You're not to have any contact with your son until this is resolved.
But I live at that address. I take care of him. Me and him live together.
Correct.
And I live there. I pay the rent and I pay everything. And he live with me.
I can't allow contact until I hear from him, sir. I can't change my mind. If he shows up and wants to testify, I'm happy to listen to him. But he's not here. This is very standard what we're doing.
Okay.
And I wouldn't do otherwise unless he was here to talk to me about it, okay?
I understand.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, state also requests no weapons,
He's
firearms.
not to possess any weapons or firearms. Yes,
Can we put the statute number on the record?
yes. You want
For
me
the,
to?
yes.
Oh, I don't know it.
Oh,
I have to put it on. Look it up.
Okay.
All right, Oscar Capps?
Mr. Foster Cap is a medical.
Medical? Okay, we can reset him for tomorrow. And is this John,
Charlebois, yes, Your Honor.
how do you pronounce it?
Charlebois?
Charlebois, okay. All right, so. All right, so we do find probable cause for one count of failure to register a motor vehicle, one count of attaching a registration plate not associated with the vehicle, and one count of driving with the license suspended or revoked, third or subsequent offense. Count 3, which is the driving with the license suspended or revoked, bond is set in the amount of $2,500. We can set bond in the amount of $100 each on the other 2 counts. And we can appoint the office of the public defender. Okay, Mr. Charlebois, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, Ashley Coffey. Ms. Coffey?
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. I do find probable cause for one count of possession of cocaine, and we can set bond in the amount of $1,000 and appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Ms. Coffey, any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Gary Cohen?
Your Honor, he bonded.
He bonded, okay, thank you. And is this LaShonda?
Corp, sir?
Yeah, how do you pronounce your last name?
Corpse?
Corpse.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Ms. Corpse. I've reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for aggravated assault with a firearm. You can participate in PTR, pretrial release if you want, or you can post a bond in the amount of $2,500. I would order you have no contact with the alleged victim, no possession of any weapons or firearms as a condition of release, and no return to the location, which is a 7-Eleven, okay?
Yes, sir.
And we'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Ms. Corpse, do you have any questions?
So I'm able to bond out. My bond will be the 2,500. Just making sure I'm hearing you clearly, Your Honor.
Sure, yes, ma'am. Or you can do pretrial release, which wouldn't cost you money, but you'd have to report, and they would explain the rules to you. If you don't want to bother with that, you can post the bond. We would leave that up to you, okay?
My bond, sir, will be the 25, and I'll pay the 10% of that?
Yes, I presume. You would call a bonding agency, and that's typically how it works, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Susan, is it Crusoe?
Yes, she bond out also.
Okay, thank you. So we don't need to take any action there. Dominic Dale?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Dale. I do find probable cause for carrying a concealed firearm. We would set your bond in the amount of $2,500. You do qualify for pretrial release. You can do that or post a bond. We'd leave that up to you. And the condition is not to possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release. And we'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, sir. It's regards to the pretrial release. Can you explain to me how that works?
I don't know it as well as the officers who would instruct you on that, but it typically requires reporting in regularly, sometimes just with a telephone call, sometimes in person. I don't know the way they're doing it right now, but they would explain the details to you.
We're doing it by telephone, Your Honor.
And it's by phone now only because of COVID, so you'd have to report regularly by telephone, and they would tell you how often.
Okay, and who do I contact again for this?
They'll instruct you when you're released, or you can call a bondsman and post the $2,500 bond, but they'll explain the rules to you, then you can choose, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, Vasily Florianovich?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were picked up on a failure to appear warrant. Bond is set in the amount of $200, okay? And we can appoint the office of the public defender to represent you, sir. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't.
All right, thank you, sir. Alan Forbin? You, Mr. Forbin?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. I've reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You do qualify for pretrial release, so you can do that, or I'd set your bond in the amount of $2,500. We would order either way that you have no contact with the victim alleged here and no possession of any weapons or firearms. Okay, Mr. Forbin, do you have any questions for me?
No.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck, sir. All right, Autumn Goodley. Okay, so Ms. Goodley, I think you were picked up on arrest warrant, 1 count of grand theft 3rd degree. We'd set bond in the amount of $2,000, 1 count of battery, and bond is set in the amount of $500. And we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victims here. No return to the scene of where this is alleged to have occurred. Ms. Goodley, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, you guys read exactly what happened, right? Or you
No,
just have...
Judge Jordan found probable cause. He signed the arrest warrant. So,
Yeah, 'cause it was a veterinary bill for my cat that I wasn't aware that needed to be paid on the spot.
Today's not really the day for us to discuss all of the facts that happened here. Judge Jordan found probable cause. We have appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, and they should be able to help you, okay? But today wouldn't be the day to actually find out exactly what happened, because not all the witnesses are here, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. James Harrison?
Mr. Harrison is mental health.
All right, so Mr. Harrison, we can reset
Yes.
for tomorrow? Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, was this reset because of medical?
Medical.
Medical?
Yes. Okay.
Mental health.
Pardon?
Mental health.
Mental health.
Okay.
Okay. Tierra Jennings? Okay, good afternoon, ma'am. All right, so I do find probable cause for possession of ecstasy, methamphetamine. We can set bond in the amount of $1,000, and we'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Ms. Jennings. Ms. Jennings, do you have any questions for me? Okay, thank you very much. Jarvan Lewis? Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Lewis was picked up on an arrest warrant. Probable cause was found for second-degree murder. I'm not so sure I'm in a position to set a bond today. Did you guys want to talk about that?
I have nothing to add on that.
I think we would hold him no bond, and when you get a chance to speak with the lawyer in detail, the lawyer can request a bond hearing for this, but I don't think it's something we should do today. Mr. Lewis, I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, though, okay?
Okay.
All right. So they should be talking to you about it, and then they'll request a bond hearing if they feel that's appropriate with the judge assigned to the case, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, Crema Marrero,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
Your
good
Honor.
afternoon. We do find probable cause for aggravated battery. I think you qualify for pretrial release, so you're welcome to participate in that.
Yes,
Or
sir.
we can set your bond in the amount of $3,500. We'll give you the choice. You're not to have any contact with the victim alleged here. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Your
I
Honor, also
appreciate you.
request no weapons or firearms.
Okay, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release. Alan Miller?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Miller.
Hello, sir.
Let's see, Mr. Miller, I do find probable cause for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. I can set your bond in the amount of $500, order you have no return to the ABC location where this is alleged to have occurred, and I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. It's Angel Ortiz Perez.
Angel Ortiz Perez is in medical.
Medical, okay, so we can reset this for tomorrow. And do we have Mr. Todd Peterson?
Medical.
Medical. All right, we can set for tomorrow. Michael Scott? You, Mr. Scott? Hello, Mr. Scott. Hello. I have reviewed the police report. We do find probable cause for 4 counts. Count 1, possession of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon. Bond would be set in the amount of $4,000. Count 2, possession of cocaine, $150 bond. Count 3, destruction of evidence, $150 bond. Count 4, possession of drug paraphernalia, a $100 bond. We would appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. And we do order you not possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release, okay?
And he did qualify for a PTR? Is it or just bond?
Yeah, or he qualifies for pretrial release. You're welcome to do that if you want, but you're not to possess any weapons, okay?
So
Mr. Scott,
do I qualify pre-trial?
You do.
So can I leave today or do I know, how do I do it?
You would be instructed on that by some of the corrections officers and on the conditions of pretrial release, and then you would be out today. You'd have to follow their rules.
Okay.
You're gonna be checking in with them by phone.
Okay.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. It's very important,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Have a
Good luck,
one.
Mr. Scott.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Nathan Smith? And you're Mr. Smith, okay. Mr. Smith, I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for 1 count of possession of fentanyl. I'd set your bond amount of $1,000. Count 2, possession of cocaine, $150. Count 3, possession of drug paraphernalia, $100. And we'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Mr. Smith, do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you, sir. Tiberius Washington? You're Mr. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so Mr. Washington was picked up on a bond, on a warrant for inciting riots. And he came in bond to be set at IA. Does the state have any requests as to bond here?
Your Honor, state would request that the bond be at least $500.
I'm sorry, 5,000?
500.
500? And is that okay with defense?
Defense is okay with that.
All right, so we would set his bond in the amount of $500. Mr. Washington, while this is pending, you're not to return to the premium outlet on International Drive, okay?
Yes, sir.
No return, bond $500. We will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay, Mr. Washington?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck, thank you. All right, do we have Michael Williams?
Sir.
Mr. Williams is here, and Mr. Williams, we do find probable cause. There are 8 counts here. So we do find probable cause for possession of a concealed firearm by a convicted felon, 1 count of possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, 1 count of possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. 1 count of possession of cocaine with a weapon, 1 count of possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a convenience business, 1 count of possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. And 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. As to counts, what I'm showing is count 6, which is possession of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a convenience business. That bond would be set in the amount of $10,000. We can set bond on his other cases in the amount of $100, other counts in the amount of $100, and we would appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
And he has a second case.
Yes, 20 CF 8094, there's probable cause for driving with license suspended or revoked, third or subsequent violation, also refusal of a urine or breath blood alcohol test. Bond would be set in the amount of $2,500. Count 2, no valid driver's license bond, set amount of $100, and appoint the PD in that case as well. So, Mr. Williams, any questions for me today?
Yeah, I was never asked to take a urine test or breathalyzer test. And the reason it was a traffic stop. I wasn't in possession of cocaine within 1,000 foot of it.
Well, today's really not the day to talk about the facts of what you could actually hurt your case. The possession of someone found cocaine on you is the allegation. It was close to a convenience store. That's a pretty serious offense. That's why that bond is the amount of $10,000 on that count, in a lower bond for the others. But we have appointed the public defender's office to represent you, so they should be able to help you, okay?
Your Honor, I don't know if I heard this, but are you requesting no weapons and firearms on the first 8 counts?
Correct. He is a convicted felon, so that should be a given, but he's not to possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release. Okay. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Pascal Cherry.
Surety bond, he went on surety bond. He bonded
Okay.
out on surety.
Bonded out, so no action there. How about Frankie De Hoyos?
Surety bond as well.
He bonded as well, so we take no action there. Kyle Karpinski?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Okay, yeah. All right, so Mr. Karpinski, we do find probable cause for DUI causing damage to property, and we would set your bond in the amount of $1,000. And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The state requests no bars or no alcohol on this case.
Okay, any response there?
The defense would object to that.
I mean, is that typical for DUI? I've never heard, I don't do this every day, but no one's ever asked me for that restriction on DUI. Doesn't mean it's wrong.
I've had it on some DUIs before in a case, but not most of them. I don't
I
really
mean,
know
is this
why
his first
state-
offense DUI? If it is, I would not do that, but if this is like multiple DUIs, then it might be a good idea.
Your Honor, from what I can see, I believe it is his first DUI, but because there is damage to property or person of another, that's what I'm asking for.
He's not to drive under the influence of any drug or alcohol, but I'm not going to restrict his usage of such at this time. Okay, thank you. All right, so I think we're going to Michelle Cohn.
Michelle Cohn is medical.
All right, that can be reset for tomorrow.
Your Honor, is there possible to, sorry, this charge is just for a trespass.
I would ask you to make up your mind on what you want to do with
Oh, I
these
think,
people.
okay, well, I mean.
Because if you want them ROR and you're going to waive their appearance, then I'd like you to be consistent. So
Okay,
take your choice, because, you know, Judge Saunders is going to be here tomorrow with a bunch of resets, which we didn't do last week, over the weekend at all. And there's like a 10 now already? And
Yeah.
Saturday is a very busy day typically anyway?
yes.
But if you're not waiving, you're not waiving.
I'll waive her appearance, I'll waive,
No, we waive everybody.
okay, well.
You can't pick
so
and
I
choose, like
can't-
this one I want to argue ROR, so,
Okay,
so,
well-
come on.
Okay, so I guess, can I not change my mind at any point, or that's how I?
Well, you can make whatever argument. I'll never say no, but this is sort of what I get frustrated over is
Okay.
let's try to have some consistency. That's what you asked for me when I'm setting a bond. Just please be consistent. Please be consistent. I asked the same of the lawyers.
Yes. Okay, well, I guess since this morning I
Let me check with
hadn't
the state on this.
decided.
Do you have any objection to ROR for this particular defendant?
No, Your Honor.
All right. As long as we all agree, I'm happy to do it. But please be consistent with these.
Okay, I wasn't trying to be inconsistent, I just wasn't sure what the best route
So-
was, since this is all pretty new with the
Okay, so
pandemic.
Ms. Cohen then,
occurring.
with agreement, and thank you, State, we will release her. We'll find probable cause for trespass in a structure or conveyance and release her on her own recognizance when she's well enough to go, okay? Thank you. How about your Danis Duran?
Your Honor, he just alerted us that he's Spanish and he needed an interpreter, so can we reset him for tomorrow?
Yes, we can. So we need to move this up for an interpreter tomorrow morning. Thank you. How about Nathan Franklin? You Mr. Franklin? Okay, hello, Mr. Franklin. On your new case, 20 MM 4844, I would find probable cause for trespass on property after a warning. And I know you're out on ROR. All right, so as to the new case, Mr. Franklin, I would set your bond the amount of $500. I'm not going to disturb the bond you're out on, okay? But you're also not to return to the Parliament House where I think you've been trespassed from. That's the information I have. But I am going to give you a bond in your new case, but we're going to keep your ROR status on the case you're out on. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I'm all right.
You good? Thank you. And we can appoint the PD to represent you, okay? Good luck, Mr. Franklin. Thank you. All right, Marchant Simpkins.
Your Honor, he is medical. Merchant Simpkins.
So what do you want to do with Mr. Simpkins? So I mean, we can get him here, but you know, if there's agreement to ROR, I'm happy to do that. I would set bond in 250 if there's not agreement on ROR, or we can bring him back. But I'd like to sort of do the same thing with everyone. Yes, sir.
In this case, I would not agree to RR.
Yeah, he medical.
So then, do you want him to come, or do you want me to set his bond at 250?
I can waive his appearance. I would still ask for ROR. It's due to it being a relatively minor charge. It's not violent. For his own safety, for him to be ROR'd.
And we would set bond in the amount of $250. In order that he not return to the Walmart on Princeton. And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Okay, thank you. And how about Reginald Littel-Seing?
Mr. Littel-Seing is on mental health.
All right, so he's mental health.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I think I would consider an ROR for him with no return. Does the state have a position on that?
Your Honor, I would object to that. It looks like he has some felony history involving property. He has an attempted burg of dwelling. He has, actually that's his only felony. I would still object to an ROR in this case, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to release him on his own recognizance, no return to the Days Inn located at 2500 33rd Street. Then we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Okay, Rashard Wlafloor?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Wlafloor.
How you doing?
I'm okay. We do find probable cause for trespass in a structure and one count of assault. And it looks like he does qualify for pretrial release.
Okay.
So we can allow him to do pretrial release. He's not to return to this location as a condition of release. The governs manner. No contact with the alleged victim. And we'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Wlafloor. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
I mean, I'm getting out on pretrial release today, right?
Yes, if
Okay.
you'd rather post a bond, we can set the bond at 500 for count one and 100 for count two, or you can do pretrial release, and I will
Okay.
leave that up to you, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, well, best of luck to you, all right? Thank
All
you.
right.
Janelle Andujar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. So you were picked up on a Manatee County warrant, and right now it's no bond. So here's what I think we're going to do. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. One of the judges this week will be in touch with the judge who issued this, who signed this warrant, and see if the judge would agree to giving you a bond.
Okay, but I got an attorney, sir.
Okay, and who's your lawyer?
I don't know her name. I gotta call my mama.
Okay, and that's fine. So your lawyer will understand what's going on, because we're not transporting, I don't think. Normally, we'd send you down to Manatee County. That's not being done during the virus. So your attorney would also be welcome to contact the other judge in Manatee County to see if he or she would agree to a bond. Typically, the judges who work here during the week will also reach out to that judge, and if the judge agrees to a bond, they'd bring you back in and let you know that, okay? So people are working on your case, but right now you're held no bond, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you so much. Is Donald Blackstock here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Blackstock, I think you were picked up on a warrant out of Broward County,
Yes, sir.
which is no bond right now. And so, do you have your own lawyer?
I have an attorney down south, but I just EOS from Orange County yesterday. I was hoping to be released today in order to make it back down to that county and put a motion in with my judge, my attorney down there.
Well, right now, the warrant that the judge signed is for no bond, so I can't do that. One of the judges here will reach out to your judge down there to see if he's okay with a bond. And if so, you'd be notified of that. Have you talked to your lawyer down south yet?
He told me to give him a call when I got down there, but I just found out they were not doing any transport, so.
Yeah, it's no bond and we can't transport you, unfortunately. So if you're able to call your lawyer, you need to let him know that. But Judge Carter or Judge Wish will also be talking to the judge down in Broward to see if he can allow a bond for you to get down there yourself.
And
I just don't know the answers.
When might that happen?
Well, it would be this week. I mean,
I'll scan it to her today when court is done, and they'll start working on it. So maybe not till Monday.
yeah, it could be as soon as Monday, but it won't be before Monday, okay?
And that would be the judge here making contact with the judge down south?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you talk to your lawyer should also contact the judge's office on Monday as well, just to make sure. But that's what we're doing. The judges are reaching out to, our judges reach out to judges in other counties, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck. Joshua Day? You Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. You also have something going on in Seminole County. Are we transporting into Seminole? No? So you got no bond warrants out of Seminole County, and same thing, we'll be reaching out to the judge in Seminole to see if he or she is able to give you a bond, but right now it's no bond.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll appoint the PD to represent you, okay?
He also has one for Volusia County.
And Volusia,
Yes,
Volusia. Anywhere else?
It has a bond of 10,000.
Volusia has a bond?
Yes, of 10,000.
10,000. Your Volusia County case has a $10,000 bond. Seminole County case right now, okay, there it is. No bond. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir. Is there a possibility that when they reach out to these to Seminole County, can they go ahead and tell them if I can go ahead and get my time served for the misdemeanor violation of probation?
Oh.
And for Volusia County, I'd like to get if it's a possibility to reduce to 10,000, but I don't mind if it's 10,000, it's 10,000. But I would like to, or since you're appointing me a public defender, I would like to speak to my public defender about the issue because I know you're a busy man. And
Well, And there are a lot of issues going on. All of those are possibilities, but yes, discussing that with the attorney is probably the thing to do, okay?
All right, I appreciate that, boss man.
All right.
You have a great
Take
day.
care, Mr. Day. Good to see you.
De Leon.
All right, so Jeremiah Fuller, thank you, you too.
Sir, good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Fuller. You have a warrant out of Volusia, and the judge gave you a bond of $25,000.
Yes, sir.
And what we will do is appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. And if you're not able to afford that, someone can reach out to the judge to see if that judge is willing to come off that. But right now, it's $25,000, okay?
So, like, if I can't bond out, will I get transported back to Volusia at some point, or how does that work? Or am I
If you
just
can't-
stranded?
If you can or can't.
Like, would I get transported? Is Volusia County gonna come pick me up if I don't bond out, or?
Eventually, yes, but we don't know when because of the COVID-19.
So how do I try to get my bond reduced again?
Well, the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you while you're here with us, and they can talk to the judge down there. One of our judges here could reach out to that judge. But it may not be reduced. I mean, I don't know the nature of this thing.
Right.
But if it's not reduced and you cannot afford it, when the conditions are safe, we would transport you to Volusia, but I don't know when that's going to be.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Mr. Fuller.
No, it's
Good
okay.
luck
I'm
to you.
bond out. Okay, thank you.
Edward Machan-Burg.
Your Honor, Machan-Burg is medical.
Okay, so Machan-Burg has out-of-county warrants in Volusia, no bond. He can be reset. Why don't we roll that to Monday?
Okay, you want to reset them, or you want me to, because I emailed these to Jill anyway, and they'll bring them back to court once they hear back from the other county.
Okay, so then we do not need to reset, but Judge, is it Carter or Wish?
It's both. I sent it
of
to
them.
their JAs.
So Judge Carter and Judge Wish, as a matter of routine, reach out to the judges who issued the warrant. So that's what will happen here. If the judge that comes off the warrant or allows a bond, then the defendant would be brought back and notified.
Yes.
Okay, all right. How about Elisa McClellan?
McClellan also in medical.
So that's the sort of this, but she does have a bond out of Polk County of total of $4,000. We can appoint the office of the public defender to represent her. And would you like her brought to the courtroom when she's able?
Yes.
Okay. So we can reset this. Why don't we reset it for Monday, because
Okay.
they're more equipped to deal with that. How about Austin Triplett?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Triplett has a warrant out of Putnam County.
Yes, sir.
Right now, no bond. And you're out on bond on a failure to report during your birth month.
Yes, Your Honor, I am out on bond right now. I'm still trying to get a hold of my lawyer that's here in Orange County to resolve the case in Orange County. It is resolved. We're waiting on just the judge to finalize the actual 6 months of community control.
And who's your lawyer?
I cannot say. It was Mr. Lewinson, who's a public defender here in Orange County. Okay. And at the time for when I went to Putnam for the first violation, Gary Woods is my lawyer, and we got 6 months of community control. And the state at Putnam was passing that down to the state down here in Orange County to finalize that.
Well,
And so
we're going to keep your bond in place on the failure to report. Right now, though, you're no bond out of Putnam.
Yes, sir.
And one of the judges here is going to be reaching out to that judge to see if he or she is willing to give you a bond, okay?
So,
And he has,
so we're
And
seeing
we
if,
appointed the public defender to represent you here.
okay, so we're seeing if they give us a bond in Putnam because of the fact that there's no transportation at the time right now.
No transportation, so yes.
Okay. All righty.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So public defender again.
And Anika Tyson?
Mr. Tyson, medical as well.
All right, so Mr. Tyson has bond of $10,000 out of Alachua. So he can be reset for Monday. How about Reginald Mush?
On the medical?
So what do you want to do with this? This was a reset for a probable cause. I don't know if you want to talk about that, or we can just reset it again. Did the state have any additional information on this?
I'm just checking real quick, Your Honor. Yes, we did receive a probable cause. Probable cause and case information for Mr. Mush's add-on charges. If defense would like, I can email that to her.
Okay.
You do have additional information?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because we probably would reset it. I mean, if we're going to be arguing about a bond, you need to talk to him, probably. This is, unless you want to do it today.
We can reset it if that's better, so we can have time to look at it, talk with him.
So why don't you exchange the information, and why don't, we can reset this. Can we reset this on Sunday?
Okay, that's fine.
I don't want to give her too much to do tomorrow, but why don't we reset this on Sunday if he's able to be here? Then you can discuss probable cause at that time.
And it was medical for him? Judge?
Medical.
Thank you.
Koby,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Negron,
Yes.
Del Valle Negron?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I know Mr. Negron was picked up on a violation of probation. And Mr. Lau, the probation officer, has sent an email. Have you seen that? The email indicates that his curfew had expired and he was not in violation and is requesting release.
I have not seen that message,
Here,
Your Honor.
you can come on up, if you want to come up and take a look at it, but this is Officer Duran. Thank you. So if I understand this correctly, that's the probation officer is requesting no PC release. So if there's no objection, then we'll find no probable cause and allow release on his own recognizance.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. So stay in touch with your probation officer, okay? But you're good to go.
Just as to both cases?
So when
Are they
am
both
I allowed?
VOPs?
Yes.
Then yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
So you said, what was the last thing you said?
You need to stay in touch with your probation officer. You need to be careful, but your probation officer went to bat for you here, okay? You're going to go home.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck. Do you have any other people there?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
You guys have a good rest of the weekend. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, you
okay?
too. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Now, you need a statute number, right?
No, they provided it to me.
Okay.
They sent me an email.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
And I wait for no pun?
PTR.
Excellent, thank you.
And as far as Amanda Buskey, she is safety issue to bring up at this time. I don't know if you want to entertain waiving her appearance.
I think we can. We can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. She has an out-of-county warrant from Citrus County, and the bond was set in the amount of $500.
Well, Judge, I don't want to waive her appearance. If we could just reset her or call her at the end of the docket.
She's not going to be here today.
Okay, let's reset her, sir.
Why?
Because I want her to be present for initial appearance. I haven't spoken to her. I'm not at the jail, and so I don't want to waive her initial appearance when I haven't spoken to her.
And do you typically do initial appearances?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
And typically when someone is a health precaution, I would have spoken to that person prior to the proceeding and let her know about what's going on, but because we didn't do that today.
Your Honor,
Out there in Osceola, can you remind me, what was the reason why she's not here today?
she is not a health precaution. She is a behavioral issue, so it's a safety precaution.
So it's behavior, not health. She's waived her right to be here. She's got a $500 bond. We do not need to bring her back. All right, thank you. Is Maria Hyatt there?
Yes, Your Honors.
Good morning. Are you Miss Hyatt?
Yes.
All right, Miss Hyatt. Yeah, you were picked up on a warrant out of Orange County. The bond is for possession of cocaine. The bond is set at $1,000, and we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, and is Paulo Mejia Gomez female? I believe so.
She's approaching now.
Okay. Good morning. Are you Miss Mejia Gomez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think she has two cases. Although I don't know how the numbering goes in Osceola County. Case number.
One of them has a case number and the other one is a new case, so it does not have a case number yet. So just this one has a case number.
Which is the case number?
Right here.
Okay. 20 CF 1842. She was picked up on a warrant in that case for sending written threats to kill, aggravated stalking. We do need to set a bond.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, does the state have a recommendation on that?
Your Honor, I would recommend a high bond due to the concerns for the safety of the victim.
In response?
Judge, I'm asking the court to set a bond on the aggravated stalking. This is a situation where she allegedly created Grindr accounts and had the men coming to his home. She's sent various text messages to him. And so based on the facts of the case, I'm asking the court to set the sending written threats to kill at $1,000 and the aggravated stalking at $1,000.
Was she the Grindr one?
Judge, if I could just
Because
have
that one doesn't, I signed her warrant yesterday or the day before. I know there's a Grindr issue coming up. I just don't think this is it.
Okay, one moment.
Your Honor, I believe this is the one that you signed.
Yeah, I signed it, and I just don't think that was the facts regarding creating a fake account. I know that we're going to see that sometime this morning, but I don't think it's this one.
I'm just a little turned over because of we're going out of order a little bit, taking the women. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, that's Amanda Polly. She's next, the Grindr Ms. Mejia
Hello,
Gomez. was
Cisco
picked up
Unity
on a
Connection Messaging System. From a touch-tone telephone, you may dial...
But what I think we could do is set bond, count one as a second-degree felony, and we can set bond in the amount of $5,000. Count two, a third-degree felony, $150. Order no contact with the alleged victim. And the other case she has, which does not yet have a case number, alleging aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. I'm not so sure I'd find probable cause. State, did you have a chance to look at this?
Your Honor, in this case, I believe she used a knife to slice the victim.
The only place it shows is that Paulo advised she had keys in her hand and cut Keisha in the abdomen after Keisha had backed her up against a wall and cut her hair. I just viewed it as self-defense, as not the aggressor has to keep that particular individual. But
Your Honor, I would suggest that if this was going to be a self-defense defense, that it would be a question to be hashed out after IAs.
yeah. A mutual combat issue or self-defense, I'm not so sure that that's the law. But I just wouldn't find probable cause there. I think the other case we signed the warrant on, we did set a bond in that amount, $5,000 plus $150. I do decline to find probable cause in her other case. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender. So she's released ROR on the second case, okay? Thank you. Is Amanda Pauley there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning. Are you Miss Pauley?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Pauley's here. I did find probable cause for stalking, and we need to discuss a bond, I guess. Mr. Lau, State, have any suggestions? This is the one involving allegations of Grindr account.
Yes, sir.
State would recommend a high bond.
What do you mean by high bond? To some people, that's $1,000. To other people, that's $100,000. You're going to have to be more specific to help me out.
Your Honor, for this specific case, I would recommend a bond of at least $1,500. $1,500.
Okay. Any response?
Judge, I don't have her history in front of me. I know she doesn't qualify for direct PTR. I don't know what her history is. I'm thinking from what I read that she didn't have any. But based on that, I'm asking for a $250 bond.
I think in the circumstance, $1,500 I think is a reasonable request. Set the bond amount at $1,500. Order no contact with the victim alleged. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender.
Your Honor,
Okay,
if I may,
yes.
she does not have any history, and the mental health professionals here at the jail have told me that they're hoping for a low bond so that she can be Baker acted directly to Park Place.
So they would do that today, is your understanding, a Baker Act?
Yes, upon her release from here, she would go be Baker acted directly to Park Place.
Okay. And any idea what kind of a bond Ms. Polly would be able to afford?
Right now,
Well, they were hoping for an ROR, but 250 would
they had one, but it's a mill, so it probably
probably be feasible to allow her to bond out.
So if you
So,
want
Mr. Lally, if that's accurate, she's going to have a probably 72-hour hold at a Baker Act, and maybe longer depending on what they find. Any objection to lowering the bond to $250?
I would still object, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I still object, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Given the mental health concerns, I would set bond in the amount of $250 if she's going to be Baker Acted. She's still to have no contact with the alleged victim. That's very important
Your Honor,
here,
may State
okay?
also request no weapons or firearms for this case?
Yes, she's not to possess any firearms or other weapons, as well as no contact with the alleged victim. And I believe we have appointed the Office of the Public Defender. Thank you, Ms. Polly. Is Taniya Rivera there? Good morning. Are you Miss Rivera? All right, Ms. Rivera. You were picked up on arrest warrants, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, and we can set bond the amount of $1,000. Count 2 is possession of drug paraphernalia. I'd lower that bond to $100, and we'll appoint the office of the public defender. Okay, do you have any questions, ma'am? All right, thank you. All right. I have Emily Terramino.
Good morning, Judge. Joe Castrofort on behalf of the defendant.
Hey, Mr. Castrofort, how are you? Hey, haven't seen you in probably 2 or 3 years.
The last few months I have a reason, but yeah, it's just been unlucky, Judge.
Yeah, well, I'm also at juvenile court, so I know you may not be out there a whole lot. But is this Ms. Terramino with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I know I would find probable cause for domestic violence battery, unless, Mr. Castrofort, is there any argument as to PC?
No, just our concern is her restriction upon release, Judge. We want to make sure she has an ability to have contact with her. The 3 natural children, the alleged victim in this incident, is a stepchild who has no reason to return to the household, and if the court were to require her, she can also have supervised contact with her own kids, because she lives and works with her husband.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask. Where does the stepson live?
Oh, lives with another parent in a different home.
Different home?
Can you tell us where the other child lives?
He lives in Kenansville.
Kenansville.
Okay, all
I
right.
believe that's still Osceola.
Because my thought was to give her a bond order, no contact. If the child, alleged victim, doesn't live there, I don't see why she can't go home. State, have you had a chance to? Okay. State, have you had a chance to look at that? I mean, if the stepson doesn't live there, I think she can probably go home.
Your Honor, I just have
she has no history,
Does she qualify for PTR?
not due to the nature of the charges,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I just have concerns about the relationship between the alleged victim and the natural children. I don't know if her being allowed to contact her children might affect their relationship with the alleged victim. I just don't want her to have any sort of negative influence on the alleged victim through her natural children if there's a relationship.
Well, it's no contact directly rendered. The issue, Mr. Castrofort, you may not be able to hear Mr. Lau, is the contact that her natural children may have with the stepson, and the state is concerned about any interference. So, but we would order no contact directly or indirectly with the alleged victim. I don't see any reason why we can keep Ms. Terramino away from her own children, so she certainly can see them, but I would caution against any communication with anybody to the stepson at all regarding this incident. And we can set bond as to count 1 in the amount of $1,500, count 2, $100, order no contact, and then anything else we need to address, Mr. Castrofort?
No, just thank you so much.
All right, thanks very much. Let's see, what do we got? Is Amy Sullivan next?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning. Are you Miss Sullivan?
Yes, sir.
All right, Miss Sullivan, I believe you were picked up on a arrest warrant for petty theft, third or subsequent offense. Bond has been or will be set in the amount of $1,000, and will appoint the office of the public defender. And you are not to return where the alleged theft occurred.
Which is where?
I don't have the police report in front of me. Anyone have any idea?
I just have the warrant.
Okay, because I just have the warrant. I'm a little bit surprised if you have no idea what this is all about, but okay. Well, all I can tell you is an arrest warrant was signed for petty theft with 2 prior theft convictions. Will set bond in the amount of $1,000. I don't know where to tell you not to return to, so I won't make that a condition, but we will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you, okay? All right, thank you. Are there any?
I had Paul from AV. He was standing by. he connected me, and if we need to get you video from Osceola, I think I can call him and he can get that fixed if you want that.
Okay, if we only have a handful of cases, but I can see him. If you're Mr., are you Mr. Bowden?
Yes, sir. My name is James Bowden.
Bowden, and I can see Mr. Bowden perfectly well. I have reviewed the police report. I would find probable cause for assault. And we can set bond in the amount of $500, order no contact with the alleged victims, no return to the location. If Mr. Bowden lives there, he can return one time with law enforcement to obtain some personal effects. And if I didn't say so, we will appoint the office of the public defender.
Your Honor, for this case, state also requests no firearms or
He would also is not to possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of release as well. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bowden. Good. Duane Head.
And Judge, we'll just be asking for a $1,000 bond in this case.
For Mr. Head?
Yes, sir.
And he's out on bond in another case, you know that?
Yes, I know that, sir.
right.
But I believe he's still entitled to bond on this one.
Okay, and he is. Are you Mr. Duane Head?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, Mr. Head, you've got a new case which I would find probable cause for a battery. We would set your bond in the amount of $1,000, order you have no contact with the alleged victim, no return if this happened at the where you live, or at any event, no return. If you happen to live there, you can go back with law enforcement to obtain some personal effects. We'll appoint the office of the public defender. I think Mr. Head is out on bond in for a DV battery, 20 mm 907, I believe, and I would revoke that bond at this time and appoint the PD in that case as well.
What was that now?
It should be 2 cases that he's out on bond on.
Your Honor, on the battery case, state
Okay.
also requests no weapons or firearms.
He's out on bond on 20 mm 1154 and 20 mm 907. So I'm revoking those bonds that are being forfeited, actually. And so you're going to have to talk to your attorney and see about getting a new bond on those cases. But I've revoked those, but gave you a $1,000 bond on your new case.
But you revoked the bond that I'm on now?
The ones that you were out on, yes, sir.
So
They
now
were
what do I gotta
revoked.
do?
Pardon me?
What do I got to do now?
Well, you got to talk to an attorney to get a bond hearing with the judges assigned to that division. And I have appointed the public defender's office, and they'll be working on that for you,
I
okay?
got an attorney. There was a conflict of interest with the public defender's office. The courts gave me Jerry Jenkins out of Orlando. He's on my case.
Okay. Well, when you get a chance to use a phone, you can call Mr. Jenkins.
So my bond that I'm out on, you just washed it.
Yes, sir, that's normal practice. I'm not just picking on you. It happens to many people if they get arrested for something and they're out on bond, okay? And you and I are done talking. Good luck, sir. All right, we are looking for Edward Sanford. Are you Mr. Sanford?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, good morning, Mr. Sanford. I do find probable cause for petty theft. And we would set bond in the amount of $500 in order you have no return to the Walmart where this is alleged to have occurred. And we will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you, Mr. Sanford, okay? Thank you, sir.
I'm not from here. Is there any way I can get pretrial release or something to get some kind of stability?
Well, if you're not from here, I don't think you'd qualify for PTR. Is that correct?
He does not qualify because he is out on ROR status out of a Lake County charge.
Okay. So there's not much I can do. I'm going to keep the bond set at $500, Mr. Sanford. We've appointed the public defender's office, so they'll be working to help you out as well, okay? Thank you, sir. Philip Van Clay.
Judge, he's out on bond. We're asking for a $1,500 bond on this case.
Okay. And are you Mr. Van Clay? Yeah, are you Mr. Van Clay?
Are you Mr. Van Clay? Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, on his new case, I would find probable cause for battery, set his bond in the amount of $1,000, order no contact with the alleged victim. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms. He is out on bond in 20 mm 1484 and 20 mm 1483.
Judge, is it bond or PTR?
PTR.
Okay, thank you.
And we would revoke PTR on those two cases and appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Van Clay. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, it's Christopher Garcia Burgos. You're Mr. Burgos? Yes. All right, good morning. Mr. Burgos was picked up on warrants out of Polk County. The total amount of the bonds has been set in the amount of $24,000. 4 counts of dealing in stolen property, $5,000 each. 4 counts of grand theft, $1,000 each. And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you while you're in the Osceola County Jail. Mr. Garcia Burgos, do you have any questions? Yeah, well, I don't have authority to do anything with a bond out of another county. So if you're out on bond in Polk County, I don't do anything with that. They do have an arrest warrant for you, and this bond is $24,000 on these charges, okay? All right, thank you, sir. Milton Suarez.
He's approaching.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Suarez?
Morning, sir.
All right, so Mr. Suarez, I believe you were picked up on a warrant for petty theft, third or subsequent offense. I would set your bond in the amount of $1,000. Order you have no return to the location where this is alleged to have occurred.
Sir.
We will appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Yes, sir.
I don't even know what this warrant is because I was supposed to go to court in June 15, which I was already incarcerated because I got arrested on June 12th. So I don't know why they got a warrant. I was locked up. You can check the record. I had a court date for June 15th, I think. And I was picked up for other charges, which I got pending. I got a $100 bond for the mother to petty theft, and I got picked up on another petty theft. But I was in jail June 12th, which was on a Friday, which I got arrested.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you know, counsel?
No, sir.
There was a warrant for your arrest. The bond has been set in $1,000. Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir. I would like to know what was the warrant for. That's what I want to know. Where was it and why was the warrant? That's what I want to know.
I don't have the narrative. I don't know what happened here. Another judge signed a warrant and set bond in the amount of $1,000. That's all I know.
Okay, sir. Can I ask you one more question? I had a bond when I got arrested on the 12th, which was only 500, 500. That's 1,000, which is another 100. Do I still got that bond so I could bond out? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I haven't. As far as I know, yes, I haven't messed with any bond you're out on. That's not in front of me. So as far as I know, that bond would still be in place, and you have a bond in this case of $1,000. Okay.
Just gonna ask you one more question. And then 2 other charges that I have. I was supposed to go to court yesterday, but my lawyer told me that they
What
enhanced
county?
it.
What county? What
Okay.
county?
Excuse me?
What county were you supposed to be in court?
Over here, Osceola.
Okay.
Now,
Well, if you're,
do I still got that bond? Because
I don't know anything about your other case. I've got one case in front of me. I set you a bond amount of $1,000.
Okay.
Okay, I've appointed the PD. You need to talk to your lawyer about those other cases, okay? I don't have the answer.
Well, they have some charges. Do they still got the same bond?
Yeah, I haven't messed with any bond. Okay? Thank you. DeAndre Jackson?
Judge, from what I understand, this case was reset for the state to get probable cause on the grand theft of a firearm. Am I correct with that?
Let's see, I don't know. State Attorney's Office has 24 hours to submit a supplement affidavit, and it was, I believe, burglary of a vehicle. And Mr. Lau, has the state done anything on that?
Your Honor, I have not received anything on this case. I apologize. Your Honor, excuse me, I think one of the co-defendants in this case was, their case was addressed this morning under juvenile IAs, and the supplement that I had sent for that also applies in this case as well. It's a case where the victim or one of the witnesses could identify the defendants because she knew them from being in the same high school or just school.
Yeah, and I don't know, have you seen, because this is what I saw this morning, and someone identified DeAndre Jackson as Dolla, D-O-L-L-A. So I know earlier this morning I found probable cause for the juvenile co-defendant. Someone identified him after seeing a video, so I think there would be PC. Any argument?
No argument.
Okay, thank you. So then that bond was set in the amount of $3,500. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Jackson. Okay. Are you DeAndre Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, sir. Yes, we have found probable cause for burglary of an unoccupied vehicle. I've set your bond in the amount of $3,500, and we've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Okay, do you have any questions for me?
So what is my bond, sir?
Your bond, $3,500, and you're not to have any contact with the alleged victim, and you're not to return to the location. Okay?
And Your Honor, I believe
And
there
Judge-
were 3 cases in which the PC was argued.
We only received one.
I have one in front of me. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
So if there are other cases, he can be ROR'd as to those, but this is the only case I have in front of me.
Okay,
Okay?
yes, Your Honor.
Judge,
Thank you, sir.
we don't have any
But
paperwork.
we don't have those, so you're gonna, if they need to be readdressed, they might have to be done over the weekend or on Monday.
Yes, Judge, I see here that there's a grand theft auto, and then there's another burglary of an unoccupied vehicle, unarmed.
That information wasn't sent over
Yeah,
to Orange County.
the allegation is they arrived in a stolen vehicle. That may relate to that, but again, all I have is this one case.
Yes, sir.
20 CF 1859. So if he needs to be seen tomorrow, Judge Saunders will be here. I'm sure she'll do it, but that's all we can do now. And Mr. Jackson, we've appointed a lawyer to represent you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else in Osceola County?
That's all.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have on my list as well.